Good evening. Hello. Please, hope you can hear me.
Good evening. I'm
Hope you
here.
can hear me. Please, hope you can hear me clearly. I want to be sure that you can hear me clearly. I'll be starting this
Yes,
meeting.
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. Good evening. I can hear you.
Okay,
Don't hear. I
you
can hear
can.
you.
Okay. So we are going to start immediately. Thank God you can hear me. So every other person that joins the meeting can respond. So every other person can respond while we can join us while we start. We don't have enough time. So I'll be sharing my screen so that we can see my slide. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay, thank you. So you can mute your mic now. Thank you very much. So when we get to the question and answer session, then you can unmute your mic. Okay, so we are starting right away. You are welcome to today's webinar. This webinar is brought to you by Hedge Global Technologies Limited. Hedge Global Technologies Limited is our registered name, but we are grouping into, we're expanding our services. So now we are now rebranding as Hedge Global Group because we have other branches of Hedge Global Technologies and other services that we do render. So my name is Henry. I am the Global Admin Manager for Hedge Global Technologies and the one anchoring this webinar. And we have different services that we render. So I will just take a brief introduction. Like you see Hedge Global Group, we have Hedge Global Education, Hedge Global Travels, Hedge Global Manpower, Hedge Global Rentals, Hedge Global Technologies, Hedge Global Foundation. All these different, I'll call it different brands of Hedge Global Technologies, they offer different services. For Hedge Global Education, this arm is basically fully into educational travels, educational loan, self-sponsored, and also fully sponsored education services. So for those who want to travel abroad via the educational route, you want to travel, you have funds to sponsor yourself, or maybe you have your family or whoever, or your company, or maybe you have a scholarship and you just want us to help you secure admission, then you can go through the Hedge Global Education. When you come to Hedge Global Education, anything concerning education, anything, whether it is self-sponsored or it is fully sponsored education, that is where we handle that. Then when it comes to traveling, you want to book your flight, you want to do hotel reservation, you want to rent, let's say Airbnb and all that, you come to Hedge Global Travels. Anything flight booking, we have one of the best prices you can find anywhere, because when it comes to international, especially international travels, international, not domestic or local, international travels, I mean, you are traveling from Nigeria to South Africa and to other places, to Europe, to America, you can get one of the best price from, I mean the best price you can get from around the market you can get from Hedge Global Travels. Then Hedge Global Manpower, we are fully into employment, recruitment, the same thing as Hedge Global Education, whether it is self-sponsored or it is fully sponsored. Self-sponsored, that means you have funds and you can pay for yourself. You don't want the government, sorry, the employer to do your work permit and to do all your documents that will lead to your traveling. You have funds, you have the resources, so you can pay your way to any country of your choice. We also have fully sponsored jobs that come up once in a while. So when you join our webinars on Thursdays, you will learn more about that. The Head Global Rentals, this and is upcoming, but fully into properties, just like you can call it real estate, but we are also developing on this. Head Global Technologies, this is our computer department. We have other things that are coming up from this aspect. Head Global Foundation also upcoming, our charity, and where we give out to people, to our community. So that is all for Hedge Global. So let's dive into today's business. So today we are going to be looking at education webinar for 2026 intakes. Webinar for 2026 intakes, education financing. This is basically an education financing webinar. I told the front desk agents to tell everyone who is part of the 2026 funding group. I said they should join this webinar. It is very, very important that they join this webinar, but I see that some of them are yet to join. I pray they are able to join. So I am sure that this webinar will be recorded so they can know. Because now the time is, we are now facing the 2026 January intake. That is what we are facing now. We have cleared the backlog for those who are doing their 2025 funding disbursement and all that. We are facing the 2026. So if you keep missing webinars and you are not here to ask your live questions, you are not here to listen to instructions, to know what you ought to do, is not when we have not gotten to the rush hour, the deadline. Some people, those are the challenges you have with human beings. When you give instructions, they would not want to follow, but when we come to deadline, that is when they will start rushing. So please, I don't want us to be among those that will not receive funds. So please, let's just try to see how we can follow up on everything that we'll be sharing in the webinar. Because thousands of students, thousands, I mean thousands, it's not just from Hedge Global. Remember, we are not funding. We are working with reputable, known funding partners. These partners have been in existence for more than 20 years. They have given out billions upon billions of dollars to students. It's not just from Nigeria. If you can see from this, our webinar sticker, you will see that if you got our webinar information, you will see that we are also transmitting to those in Ghana, those in Uganda, all African nations that are eligible. It's not all the African nations that are eligible, but Ghana, Rwanda, and Kenya, Uganda, and all the rest, they are all eligible. So we are transmitting to those African nations that are fully eligible. And you know, we are not the quota for European nations, and before we are looking at reaching out to the Indians, those who are in Asia, but that wasn't fully approved for us yet. It wasn't fully approved yet. So our target is basically for Nigeria, West African nations, and other approved African nations. So please, let's try to follow up these webinars so that we wouldn't miss any part. So now, this is introduction. I'm going to take this introduction. Thank God for our tech department. They are done with the new slide. So you are welcome to Hedge Global Technologies. We make global opportunities accessible, whether you want to study or work or relocate abroad. We are partnering with over 3,000 universities in 17 countries. We guide students through the admission. Please, if you are just coming in, kindly mute your microphone. Thank you, so that the voice won't be echoing. So we guide students through admission and provide collateral-free education loans up to 100,000, no guarantor, no consignor. Now, from Canada to Germany to UK to US to Australia and beyond, our country-specific advisory ensures you meet requirements with ease and confidence. That is what I'm saying. So everything is to make sure that you meet the requirement. That is why we organize this webinar. Our funding partners, they may not have time to do some of these webinars, but we make it a duty to make sure that these webinars are being organized every week. It's not convenient, but we just have to make sure that we organize these webinars to enlighten our people, to campaign, and also to get people to know that these things are real and also very possible. So now this is the vision. The vision is to be Africa's most trusted gateway to global education, migration, and career success. Our vision is to empower individuals to strive beyond borders through access and opportunity and financial freedom. The essence of this whole thing is to make sure that people strive, is to make sure that people succeed in their endeavor. Is to make sure that people succeed in their endeavor. That is the essence of this whole thing. Our aim is to make sure that people migrate. I wouldn't just say migrate, because every webinar we organize here, we record them, and our funding partners, they are fully aware. So I wouldn't want to use that language like japa or that, or terms like that. But the essence of this whole education, global education scheme or program is for people to be able to migrate. Yes, I don't see any reason why you will take funding worth over 100,000, for instance, and you go and study in Europe or in the US or in Canada or any part of the world, and then you want to come back. What are you coming back to do? Is it possible for someone to pay those loans while working from their home country? It may become very difficult. So the essence of this whole thing is when you travel or when you migrate, then you stay there and you are able to work, get employment, and repay back the loan. That is the whole thing. Remember, this whole ideology of funding your studies, some people may not understand. Yes, it's a collateral-free endeavor, but it's something that is targeted towards your future. If you look at our vision here, is to empower individuals to strive beyond borders. A lot of people would have succeeded if they had the opportunity that most people in the Western world had. But maybe because of the underdevelopment, poor infrastructure, or bad governmental policies, or maybe one or two reasons, some persons may have not gotten to their peak in life. So if they are able to get this quality education, we believe that is the ideology behind this global educational funding. Because you are not bringing your collateral, you are not bringing your cosigner, there is no property that is required from you. We believe that if you are able to access global education, you will strive in your various endeavor and career. So the mission here is to provide collateral-free loan, collateral-free financial solutions that make international study and migration accessible to all, offer expert country-specific guidance for 17 plus global destinations, facilitate admission support services, empower clients with flexible repayment options and honest end-to-end advisory, break down financial and geographical barriers so individuals can achieve their dreams abroad with confidence. For those who were in our Thursday webinar, I was telling them that one of the reasons why for our manpower program we focus mostly around the Shanghai region is because of accessibility. You know, when you are in Europe, you are, especially when you have a Schengen visa, you are able to access not just that particular country that issued you the visa, you are able to access at least other 27 Shanghai regions. So now, when you are able to gain advanced education, when you are able to gain advanced education, what that leads to is that you are able to advance your career. You will be able to access multinational cooperatives. You will be able to aim higher, to make more money, and to also improve your standard of living, thereby elevating your family, your children. You see, that is why we took up this tax. Now, some of the challenges of studying abroad. These are some of the challenges of studying abroad. It's not like people don't want to study abroad, but these are some of the challenges. One, high tuition fee, including living costs. This make education abroad unaffordable for many. Okay, let me just give you a breakdown. Like for instance, the least school you can access currently now in the UK, the least. I would like to use the UK because that is the choice destination for Nigerians in particular, for Africans. The least school you can access in the UK, the least amount you will pay for tuition fee is nothing less than 30 million. Or call it 20 million. Yeah, 20 something million. That's if your tuition fee is £10,000. And I doubt if there is any university in the UK that will allow that its tuition fee is £10,000 for international students. I doubt it's not possible. It could be for their domestic students, but for international students, I doubt if there is any such university that is £10,000. So let's say, for instance, your tuition fee is £20,000. That means you are going to be coughing out £20,000. That's 40 something million. 40 something million as your tuition fee only. And if you go to the UK's immigration portal, that's the British Embassy, when you go to the embassy website to look at the average requirement for cost of living, you will see that what they have costed there per month, what you are expected to have as cost of living per month is nothing less than a £900. £900. So if you times £900 into 12 months, £900 into 12 months, then you will know how much you will be spending. You will know how much you will be spending for just that education, for just that master's program you want to embark on. So that's why the high tuition fee and high cost of living makes international education unaffordable. It makes it unaffordable because it becomes so expensive. So only tuition fee alone is giving you 40 million. If you times 900 times 12 months, according to embassy standard, that's £10,000. £10,000, 10,800 is around 20 something million. So 20 something million to 40 million, that is giving you close to 60 something million. If you add your flight to the UK, is around 1 point something million or 1 million. So 60 something million plus 1 million, that is 61 million. If you add your visa fee to the UK is around 1 million because it's currently around 500 and something pounds. If you add your TB, tuberculosis test, and other embassy related charges, so plus and minus, your flight and your embassy charges and visa fee will be hitting 2.5 million. 2.5 million plus 60 something million, you are already hitting close to 65 million naira just for you to go and study your masters in the UK. So when you begin to look at other alternative countries like Portugal and other, at least you should know that before you can travel for advanced education, advanced programs in the Western world, we already know that it costs a lot. Then you need a collateral when you want to access the normal bank loans. We have banks for those who have cosigners. There are some of us who join this webinar, and yes, you have cosigner, but you need that your cosigner or your guarantor, or you need to provide a collateral to be able to access loan. Traditional loans demand high security. Most students can't provide. How many students now can provide a collateral worth 60 million or 40 million to access loan from the bank? How many? Very few. You see? So complex admission process, difficult application, varying requirements country by country. So those are the challenges that people face, and limited awareness of funding options. Many students miss out due to lack of information. Most students, when you tell them that there is something like education funding, they begin to, this is too good to be true. This can't be true. This can't be true. This is impossible. But they have forgotten that I will make reference to Nigeria. When President Tinubu, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, came to Nigeria as the president of Nigeria, there was a program he was trying to introduce, I don't know if it is still in vogue, about educational loan. The government of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu was trying to introduce educational loan, where the government, working with banks, can give students access to educational loan to go and finance their programs. So if this our government can think about educational loan, why do you think the Westerners, they don't have such provisions? These things have been in existence. It has been in existence, but the reason why we couldn't access it is because of the poor infrastructure that Nigeria have. But today, we are bringing you this solution. This solution is designed to make studying abroad stress-free and affordable. Stress-free and affordable. One of these solutions is that you do no longer need a collateral. You do no longer need a collateral. Collateral is no longer required. Study with confidence. No asset is needed. You do not longer need a collateral. I'm telling you today that with the advancement in technology, everybody on earth, so long as you are in Nigeria, you are into the banking system, you can be traced. You can be traced. Everybody is traceable. So when you want to access this kind of loan, don't be thinking of how some persons that joined our webinars some time ago, the lady was asking, how do you people trust? How do you think that I will not get this money and run away? How do you want to run away? Is it that you don't want to be alive again, or you just want to disappear and vanish from the earth? So long as you are living, you have your banking details, you have your passport, we are already in the digital world, so you will be traced. For those who are thinking of coming to take the loan and not paying back, just remove that from the back of your mind. In fact, we don't even need such people. This loan is meant for people who really want to advance their career, those who want to migrate. Those are the people that the loans we are targeting, not just those who want to come and get the loan and then they wouldn't want to pay back. Now, no cosigner or guarantor, independent financing tailored for students. No cosigner or guarantor. Like a reference I made earlier, I said, how do you expect a fresh year student, a fresher, a student that just graduated from the university to be able to pay, to be able to provide collateral? It is practically impossible. Some people, they come from a very average background that they can't even afford a lot. So that is why this loan is designed in such a way that it is beneficial and it is well structured to favor the students that have vision, future, that believe that if such investment is made into them, they will be able to utilize it and then repay back. Now, flexible repayment, pay back in 10 to 20 years. That means nobody is forcing you, giving you a deadline that you must pay in 1 year or you must pay once you start schooling. No. The payment is within 10 to 20 years. That means you have around 10 to 20 years to repay back, depending on your age. If you are already in your late 40s, then you will not be able to access up to 20 years. You can be looking at 15 years, thereabout. Now, loan amount is up to $100 per study circle for tuition and living expenses. When I mean study circle, There are some universities or some schools, some countries rather, that have their master's program run in 2 years, 2 year cycle, like the US and Canada, or most master's program in the UK or other countries run for 2 years. So each year is 1 year, is one study cycle. That is what we mean by per study cycle. Each year is one study cycle. So if you come to collect loan for your first year, for instance, you collected, it shouldn't exceed 100,000. Let's say you collected 50,000 or 80,000. Then you can go after your first year is over. By the time you are starting your next year, that is your second study cycle. Then you take the next funding. And also, I want us to understand something. You are permitted not to collect up to the entire tuition fee. Let's say, for instance, I want us to pay attention to this part very, very well. Please pay attention. Let's say your tuition fee is $40,000, for instance. Your tuition fee is $40,000, and you only need $20,000. You don't want to collect the entire tuition fee. Yes, it is possible. That means you need partial tuition fee. It is possible because you don't want the loan to be too big for you to pay back later. It is also possible. You can collect partial tuition fee and you can also collect full tuition fee. In most cases, we advise students, if it is possible, why not collect your partial tuition fee? If you have some savings around, why not collect some partial tuition fee? Because it is the repayment time that becomes cumbersome for a lot. Now, the services we render when you come to us, because we are the connecting party between you and our funding partners. So these are the services we render for you. One, we help you submit application into top-ranked universities in the world. Remember, you have to study in those top-ranked universities for you to be able to scale in your career. You have to study universities. When I say top-ranked universities, I'm talking about universities in the UK, in the US, in Canada, in Germany, in Netherlands, in Australia. These top destinations, these first world nations, Harvard universities, Oxford University, University of Nottingham Forest, University of the New York University, the Northeastern universities, the Manchester universities, you understand? Those top-ranking universities, those are the universities I'm referring to. Then what we also do is we draft a refined statement of purpose for you. We draft a refined statement of purpose for you. Then we also recommend commercially viable courses for you. Commercially viable courses, these courses, they are already part of the criteria that have been given to us by our funding partners. They are part of the criteria given to us by our funding partners. So we use that criteria to make recommendations. We have our academic counseling team. They are in charge of carrying out recommendations, anything recommendations. So once somebody comes to us, oh, I need educational loan, what we do is that the person passes through the stages, which I'm going to brief us. I'm going to tell us about the stages in the course of my next slide. I'm going to talk about the stage, but we recommend commercially viable courses. Commercially viable courses, these courses are very important because they have high employability rate. If you don't study a commercially viable course, you may stand lower chances of gaining employment. I'm telling you, because the competition outside there is very high. Competition is very, very high. So our funding partners will only fund commercially viable courses. If the course you got admitted to study is not commercially viable, you may not be able to secure funding from us. Because when you finish studying your course, you may find it difficult to gain employment, and that is where the problem is. Remember, I said this is not a grant. This is not scholarship. Yes, we are going to talk about scholarship in the course of our webinar, but this particular funding is not scholarship. It is business. A company is giving you funds to go and study because they believe in your future. They believe that when you are able to access higher education in top-ranking destinations, you will be able to advance in your career, you will be able to get good jobs, you will scale high and thereby make more money. When you begin to make more money, then you can begin to repay back You understand? So Hedge Global does not have any benefits in this your funding because they are not the one funding you. Hedge Global is just a partner. We are partnered. So our funding partner has given us this responsibility to mobilize, to educate, and also to campaign on her behalf. So that is what we are doing. So these are the services we render, because some people, they may not be able to do this thing for themselves, but we render these services to make these things easier for people. And also you get assigned a dedicated support or an admission officer. Your admission officer will guide you through your entire period until you gain admission. That is the job of your admission officer. Once you get on board, your admission officer will guide you through the period of your admission until you are admitted, and then your admission officer will transfer you to the loan processing officer. Your loan processing officer will also process your loan and make sure that your fund has been approved. Then you will receive reference letter support. You can get reference letter from us. For those students, remember that some of our requirements, I'm going to relate it to you. You are required to provide, in the course of the webinar, when we get to the other slides, then I'll talk about this reference letter support. It's part of the services that we render. Now, quick facts about the loan. One, the loan interest ranges between 9 to 16% per annum. And two, is a consignor or collateral free. That means we don't just need that your collateral, that's your land, that's your parcel of land, because your future earning is what we believe in rather. Your future earning is what we believe in. Not just your collateral or your guarantor. It is about your future earning. That is why I said it is only commercially viable courses that will be funded. Because if you do not study a commercially viable course, you may have lower chances of getting employed. Commercially viable course in a top-ranking universities, those are the basic things that will lead you to gain good employment. Most of our graduates, once they have graduated from school, it's easier for you to gain employment, because once you provide your degree, your CV, and they say, this person studied in Harvard. Imagine Harvard students or someone who studied in a top-ranking university brings his CV, and then somebody who studied in a university that is not ranking. You as an employer, who are you going to employ? You are going to look at the person who has gone to a top-ranking university, because you know that that person has quality education. You know that person couldn't have studied in one of these universities and then wasted his money for nothing. Those universities they are very expensive. That is why we focus on those universities, because we want your career to upscale. Then also repayment, no penalty for early repayment. Fine. This part is what I want to explain to those who are already onboarded for 2026 January intake. There is no penalty for early repayment. This is what it means. That means in the course of this your loan process, let's say for instance, $20,000 has been approved for Mr. John for tuition fee, and $18,000 has been approved for living expenses. And Mr. John has gone to school, his tuition fee has been paid. Mr. John now saw his friend who is living in the UK, and the friend has agreed to harbor Mr. John. Mr. John can decide that he is not going to take that his $18,000 for living expenses because he doesn't want to accumulate more loan. Or Mr. John has now gotten a scholarship, and the scholarship has decided to pay Mr. John off. That means the scholarship has decided to pay both for the tuition fee and the living expenses. Mr. John now has fund. What Mr. John will do is to pay back the loan. Now there will be no penalty because he has paid early. There is no penalty and there is no interest that will be accrued. These are the things that I want us to understand for those. These are the things that I want us to understand. These are the things I want us to understand. Please hope we can see my screen. Okay, so there will be no penalty for early repayment. Then the loan covers your tuition fee, your living expenses throughout the study period. Your tuition fee, your living expenses throughout the study period. The loan covers for your tuition fee and your living expenses throughout the study period. That means if your tuition fee, I've explained this before, is $10,000, for instance, that is your living expenses for the entire period of study, and your tuition fee is $20,000. Once your loan has been approved, you have signed all the documents, and your loan has been processed and everything, then what will now happen is this. Once your admission has been approved, your loan processing officer will now prepare your dashboard with our funding partners. Once you have been connected with the funding partners, a loan offer will be issued to you. You will read the terms. Once you are okay with the terms, you accept the terms. Your loan will be approved. Once your loan has been approved, you have signed all the documents, then your school will be notified that $20,000 will be made available for you for studies. Your school will be notified and letters of funding will be sent to your school. Then your school will now send you papers, or will I call it CV, or certificate of sponsorship, that they are aware of such funding for you. That is why I said only supported schools, only schools that we are partnered with. It's only schools that we are partnered with that we can work with. So if a student got admission with a school that we are not partnered with, please, that person will not get funding from us. Or your school is not in one of the countries that we support, that person will not also get funding from us. Because prior to this time, there's already a standing arrangement between our funding partners and the school. So whenever you get admission into that school and you got admission into the course that is commercially viable that we sponsor, so long as you got admission in that school, the country, and is a course that we sponsor, once your loan is approved, the university already know that there is an arrangement, there is already an standing agreement that this so and so students that come from our funding partners will get automatic certificate of sponsorship once their loan has been approved. So that is how it works. You must be admitted into the school that we sponsor, that we support, and into the country that we also support, and you must also study a commercially viable course. It's not like we are forcing you to study a course that is not in existence or that is obsolete. No, it's not a course that is phasing out. I'm talking about courses that are in high demand courses, top ranking institutions, high demand courses, first world nations. We are looking at like countries like the US, Canada, the UK, Germany, Spain, Australia, top ranking nations in top ranking universities. Those are the kind of things that we are looking to fund. And then we have grace period. The grace period is between 6 months. What that means is that I have finished my study, I've graduated. This is 1 year program. That means I started last year September and I've graduated 2026 September. So between now, as I've graduated, I have October, November, December, January, February, March. I have until March. If I graduated this month, September, I will be having until March before my repayment gets activated. That means I have 6 months after studies. 6 months. 6 months to start repaying my loan. Is that not wonderful? So that is how it is. So now we are going to be looking at the steps. The steps. 1, complete registration process. That means you get onboarded, you have filled the form, or you have notified our support agents that you want to start your process. You make your admin fee payment. After that fee payment, you get assigned an admission manager. Your admission manager, like I said, will be in charge of your admission throughout the period of the application. If you want to, we only recommend 2 schools, 2 universities, but in case the 2 universities have not granted you admission, your admission officer can also do the third, but there is no way, if you have all the required documents, there is no way you wouldn't get admission from those 2 universities. But if you have not gotten admission, then the admission officer can do the third university. Then after that, the third stage is your application will be submitted by your admission officer. Your application will be submitted by your admission manager. Once your university has given you offer, you are moved to the loan processing stage. You will be assigned a loan processing officer that will do all the documentation for you and then connect you with our funding partners. You sign the necessary agreement. You provide the loan required documents. I'm going to talk about this loan required document. This is the particular reason why I wanted those who have already onboarded to join today's webinar. I know some of them, they are not here, but they should watch these videos again so that not when the funding stage reach, they will say they didn't tell us or they didn't tell us. We are saying it in the webinar, and this webinar is recorded. When that time gets to the funding stage, we are going to play this video back for them. We have been sending, I told the front desk agents that they should tell those who are part of that funding program, because we have been saying this. Now we are already close to funding. We want to make sure that we pay attention to those who have already onboarded. Schools are already preparing to accept new students, because those who joined, who got admitted for September 2026, most of them have already started resuming school. So now schools are already adjusting their calendar to face 2026 intake. That is why we want to focus fully on 2026 intake to make sure that every student that needs to get admission gets their admission. If you have your particulars, your documents not sent, your reference letter, we want to deal with those who are our premium members. We want to focus on their applications henceforth. Until we are done with all the pending applications, we are not going to attend to any other person. So please, this video, I'm signing it so that when you play this video, you will hear that I'm stressing this point. Now, for loan processing stage, your loan application officer will be assigned to you, and that your loan application officer is going to tell you the required documents. I'm going to brief us about some of the required documents. I'm going to talk about some of the basic required documents so that we'll start preparing. And also it will be told us in our group, in our now this slide is supposed to be here. This slide is supposed to be up here. Sorry, let me just adjust it. These are the supported countries. These are the services rendered. These are the supported countries. I've talked about that. Now, let me get to documents required. Now, these are the documents required. These are the basic documents required. 1, your BSc or your HND certificate. Most of us, we already know that most universities don't accept HND holders for master's degree. Most universities, especially when you are applying to some of these universities that have high competition. We are all educated people. We know. So imagine somebody coming to Hedge Global, you have your HND, and you didn't even do well. You don't even have any work experience. Please, let us talk about this matter. What magic do you think Hedge Global can do to get such person admission if the person is not ready to cooperate with us? So please, if you know that your grade is very low, then that means you have to cooperate to see how we can manage the situation to make sure that your school grants you admission. Most schools prefer BSc and bachelor's degree graduates more than HND. They will even tell those HND students to go and do pre-masters program. And our funding partners are not ready to fund pre-masters program. But now if you have HND and you have good grade, then you attach that to HND with good work experience. Good work experience. That is the factor that I want to stress here. Even for those who are bachelor degree holders who have never practiced for once. What I mean, those who graduated from school, ever since they graduated, I'm referring to, for instance, imagine a computer science student who studied computer science in school, and that person has never practiced anything that has to do with computer. How do you think that the university will be able to give such person master's degree admission if the person does not have relevant work experience that is reflecting on his or her CV? Now, please, your degree is very important. BSc and HND certificates, we recommend BSc, but HND can also go. Now, your degree transcript is very, very important. Your degree transcript. This is a part that I want to talk about more. Let me talk about international passport. Your international passport, please, must correspond with the name on your degree or your certificate. But if your name have changed, then you can provide change of name documents for those who are married. Utility bill, that means utility bill is meant to prove your place of address. That is what utility bill is all about. It's not like maybe you want to know if you are not paying your bills or not. No, it's to verify your means, your address. That is what the utility bill is all about. Then your passport photograph. Your passport photograph is also important. You should submit your passport photograph. Then two references, mostly academic and career references. Two references, also very important, mostly academic and career references. Very, very important. Please, if you have not submitted your two references, make sure you submit your two references. Then Hedge Global can add the third reference if need be. So you can submit your two, Hedge Global can now add the third reference if need be. But your two reference is very, very important. Hedge Global can add the third reference if need be. Now, let's talk about updated CV. This is where I want to stress. For those who have this CV that does not reflect their work experience, you see, I have to highlight this place. I told them to highlight this place with red. Your updated CV must reflect work experience, must reflect your work experience. It must reflect your work experience in that your field of study. You cannot tell me that you are a bachelor degree holder and you did computer science, and all through your life, maybe you have left school 6 years ago or 7 years ago, you have not done anything that relates to computer science. It is not good. So what you are going to do is that you are going to be the one to work on your own CV. Make sure that it reflects that you have been practicing in that your field. It is not our duty. You do that because from your updated CV is what we will use to write your statement of purpose. So if you have submitted an updated CV, if you have submitted a CV that is not updated, that does not reflect your work experience, please go and edit your CV, redefine your CV, and submit it back to us. Because we need that CV to be able to work on your statement of purpose. We need that CV to draft a refined statement of purpose for you. Please go and update your CV. Go and update your CV and do it as quick as possible. It's very, very urgent. Please update your CV as quick as possible. Please update your CV as quick as possible. As quick as possible. It is very, very, very urgent. Update your CV as quick as possible. So that is a fact I want to stress to those who are already onboarded. If your CV is not updated, please update your CV. It's very, very important. Please go and resubmit your CV. Update your CV to reflect your work experience. If you have left school at least 4 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, please go and work on your CV. Anyhow you want to edit it to reflect your field of study, because from our experience, all the students that refuse to work on their CV, they got their self unadmitted. Please, thank you very much. Then also work with your admission manager. You are assigned admission manager. Work closely with them. They are human beings. Tell them your thoughts. Give them your suggestions. Whatever you think that is going to make your case faster, please, you can also recommend to them. Remember that the whole thing is targeted towards you. It's not the admission officer that is going to travel abroad. It is you that is going to travel abroad. So whatever you know that to make your own case to be faster. Sometimes we have the list of universities in our website. You can go there. Our supported universities are there. You can go there. There was one student that joined us last year, but he came very late. I was so happy with that student when I heard about him. The guy was even going, when his recommended courses came out, he was going to apply for schools by his own self, by himself rather. He was applying for schools by himself. He came very late last year when he heard about us. We were already done with funding, but he was busy applying for schools. Once his recommended course came out, he was applying for schools apart from the 2 universities that we applied for. So it is you that wants to travel. It is you. So you have to put effort. You don't just have to let the thing slide. So please put effort. Work on your CV and submit documents as requested from your admission managers. Submit them. Some of them, they wouldn't submit their CV, they wouldn't submit their reference letter, reference contact. Where do you want the admission officer to get the reference contact from? Tomorrow, some people will now say, this thing is not working, they didn't give me admission, they didn't approve my loan. Whereas you have not done the needful. There is a part for you to play. You have to play your own part. Because our funding partners, they will play their own part. You must be admitted into the schools that will support. So, like I've said, we are now in the question and answer session. If you have your question you want to ask, please ask your questions now and you will get written answers now. We have other people in the building. They will also put their contribution, but you can ask your questions now because we want you to travel. We want you to excel. Your global future starts here. So we don't want any slacking. We don't want any part, any slack or whatever that will lead to you not getting admission. We want our students to gain admission. So whatever we need, please try as much as you can to provide it for us so that our admission officers will fast track your application process, because we need you to succeed. It is when your loan has been approved that Hedge Global will be compensated. So we need it more than you do. So if we don't have any question, then I will put the next slide. January 2026 intake application now open. Enjoy unlimited access. Please, you can unmute your mic if you want to ask question. You can unmute your mic now if you want to ask question.
Hello, yeah, good evening. My name is Tonte Karibo.
Okay.
When you were talking about the loan processes, the document you mentioned, I was thinking that it would be something else. This one, I thought the document you mentioned was supposed to be for the admission processes. Then
Yeah.
what about the loan? But you said there are some documents you are supposed to tender when you are applying and requesting for a loan. That one was not
Okay.
mentioned. I believe the
Thank
same
you.
document.
Thank you. No. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. Now, one of the documents we have been told in our funding group that you need, if you have not taken, you need your credit history. One of the documents needed is your international passport, your admission letter. Please, I think they will add it to this slide. your admission letter, I said your admission letter into the university that will support. Your admission letter is needed. Your international passport is needed. Also, we also need your credit report. Your credit report, that means you need to have a good credit report, is also needed. Remember, this loan does not require a collateral. This loan does not require a cosigner, that means a guarantor. We only believe in you. This loan is about you and your future, so that means you should have a good credit report. What this means is that for those who have been taking loan, when you go and take loan, at the end of the day, you will not pay. You take loan from microfinance banks and you don't pay. That means those microfinance banks, they will go and report you to the credit bureau. When they report you, they are telling the international organization that nobody should give Mr. So and so loan, because if they give them, they will not pay. So if you know that you have not been paying your loans, make sure you go and pay. And then if you don't have any credit score, that means you don't have any you have never taken loan before, then we advise that you start taking small credit, soft credit, small as 2,000, 5,000, 1,000 from recognized microfinance bank. Start building your credit score now. Start building your credit score. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ponte Caribo. Mrs. I don't know. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, Miss Tonte Caribo, thank you so much. Thank you so much for reminding me. I'm going to emphasize on this. I know that I have told the admission manager, the front desk agent to tell everyone who is already onboarded for the 2026 intake that they should start building their credit score. So thank you for reminding me. I'm going to tell the tech team to add that to this required document, because this document here is basically for admission. But once your admission is out for your loan process, and I said you must be admitted into one of the universities that will support, and you must also be studying one of the courses that we recognize as commercially viable. That means you must study in a top ranking university. So your admission is one of the required documents. Your admission is one of the required documents. 2, your international passport. Your international passport is also one of your required documents. Your credit score, that means you should have a good credit score, or you shouldn't have a bad credit score. So you should have a good credit score. So those are the points. Those are some of the points that we use to evaluate your loan application. For your school application, these are the documents, some of the documents that the school will require. But for your loan application, we need your admission letter. Very, very compulsory. Your admission letter must be part of the schools that we partner, and must also be one of the commercially viable courses that we recommend for you. Then 2, we need your international passport. Your international passport is needed. Your address, your proof of address. You must be somebody that is living somewhere. It's also needed. Then you should also have a credit report. That means we ought to be sure that you have not been defrauding or defaulting your loans. You understand? Remember that this loan is something that you will still pay after you have finished your studies. So, and also, if you have work experience, like I said, that is the reason why I say we should update our CV. It's also very important. It's also required. Now, thank you. Let me also emphasize this. I think I'm remembering a lot more things now, but our time is very short. Now, if you are just graduating from school, I know that most of the fresh students that are just graduating, they don't have enough work experience. They don't have enough work experience compared to those who have graduated since maybe like 6 years ago or 7 years ago, and they have enough work experience. Now, this is how we evaluate in loan processing, in loan approval. This is how we evaluate it. If you are just graduating from school, then you should have your age as your advantage. But please, this webinar will be closing now because our time is up. But I'm going to communicate this later part of this webinar to the front desk agents. They will send a message to all of us. Thank you very much for being part of today's webinar. God bless you so much. I will see you next Saturday. God bless you. Thank you so much for being part of today's webinar. So please, this remaining part, I'm just recording it, is off the webcam because we could not attend to this part, but I'm recording it so that those who will be listening will also be able to access it. So please pay attention. I know that the webinar has ended because we have already used up our 1 hour. We have already used up our 1 hour. So what we'll be doing now is just a broadcast. I'm just going to record this last part. Now, if you graduated from school and you have already spent like 6 years or 7 years outside school, then your work experience will be very, very important. So in your CV, make sure, I don't know how you want to do it, but edit your CV and make sure that it reflects your work experience in your field of studies. For instance, if you're a microbiology student, you should be working in the lab. If you want to go and do apprentice or whatever you want to do, if you have never worked in that field, please look for a way to edit your CV to reflect it. And then for those who are just graduating, that means your age would be an advantage. Remember, when you are in your late 30s, it is not good, because imagine somebody who is 40 years coming to take a loan for 20 years. That means the person is saying that he wants to be paying that loan when he's already in his 60s. 60 is already retirement age, not when you should be paying loan. So we are looking for those who are much younger, those who are in their late 20s, early 20s, and early 30s. But if you are in your late 30s, that means your work experience will not be your advantage. So please, let's edit and work on our CV, relate to your admission officer. And for those who were in the webinar, listen to this message and then you understand. If you need any part to be clarified, you can reach out to our front desk agents. They will give you clarification. And please join us next Saturday for our webinar. You can also join our midweek webinar on Thursday to ask some of these questions, though that webinar is strictly for jobs, but I'm going to talk a little about it if we have time on Thursday. But please, I want to deeply appreciate everyone who made it to today's webinar. God bless you. And for those who want to onboard, here is your account details. Hedge Global Technologies Limited. The account the bank details is Guarantee Trust Bank. The account number is 300-134-7256. So you can make your payment. Remember, the official price is 150,000, but because of this September discount that is ongoing, we are giving our admin fee at the rate of 50,000. You can make your payment now while this offer lasts, because after this period, you may not find this offer again. And then, thank you so much from the Hedge Global Technologies, Hedge Global Education team. We deeply want to appreciate all the attendees of today's webinar. God bless you. See you next Saturday.